Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to an honest review of 2011's The Cabin in the Woods, requested by Ghoul Gang member Caden. Kofi, would you like to tell us all about what The Cabin in the Woods is?
It's surprisingly about a fucking cabin in the woods.
What?
Yeah, I know exactly right. A group of kids travel to this weird remote cabin, and while staying there, they resurrect some zombies, and we get like a slasher with a bit of a twist. The twist being that there's like an underground facility controlling certain aspects of what's happening and also betting on the outcome.
By the way, I love how you say the term, it's got a bit of a twist, which is the most understated fucking
This film took a turn quick. I don't know if you were watching... you were obviously watching the same film as me, but...
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah, okay, fuck off. I need to get the rust off and get back into this, alright? So, this film started with Four and one of the dumb blondes.
Damn blonde.
All of a sudden, Shaggy turned up and they all decided to travel around in their mystery machine with this shit version of Scooby-Doo going on. The cast, immediately, I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And I can never get past Thor. I just can't, it's Thor, innit?
Yeah, Thor is weird because this is like actually after he was already Thor as well, so like it's just fucking weird.
He could have just battered them all with his hammer, couldn't he? And this would have been the end of it.
Oh, could you imagine if there was like an Easter egg where they've just got his hammer like hanging up in the basement and shit?
That would be amazing. Like, the start of the film was so shit because they drive in towards this cabin, right? They literally show us this shittest CGI bird in the world just so that they could highlight that they were entering this like weird Hunger Games type zone. That's the only reason that CGI bird exists, to just crash into it and die. There's no other reason that
Spend 300 grand on that bird.
just... They could have set that up in any other way, but they spent 300 grand just to go, it's the Hunger Games.
Like, they could have just had someone say, there's a force field around here.
Yeah, or just explain it later.
Well, they explain it later anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
With a great bit of CGI.
What, when he falls down?
Yeah.
He tries to jump like across the Grand Canyon, doesn't he?
Yeah, we might have skipped a bit there, to be honest.
We have skipped a decent amount.
Look, let me reel you back in again, gents. So they get to the cabin. It looks utterly bland, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Utterly bland.
You know there's death in there, don't you? But no, they're going to fucking go in anyway. I didn't get this start of the film at all. It was just fucking contrived and weird, wasn't it?
I think it was just taking the piss out of a lot of things that happen in the start of slasher films.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's an intentional setup. It plays off that it's all of the generic fucking characters, like dumb blonde, stoner, like a jock, an egghead, a strong female virgin lead character.
Strong female virgin
Like
lead.
Unleash the Ghouls.
Yeah. But yeah, and we've got like the cabin in the woods as well, which is like obviously a fucking big rip on Evil Dead. So there's like loads of fucking references to just the generic stereotypes of horror, but it all has a purpose because of this facility. It's pretty fucking cryptic, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like throughout the film, you're just sort of baffled, like what the fuck?
Why is this happening? And why is the people panicking that Singapore is fucking falling? What's going on?
But then by the end, it all wraps up and we get our full context. It's just, it's so unbelievable.
It takes such a twist, doesn't it?
Does,
Yeah.
man.
The
It's
first
crazy.
half of the film is kind of like, okay, we've got this zombie redneck torture family that have just arisen from the depth of hell after they got read one passage from a book that just sat in the cellar randomly opened. Randomly opened on its own, and then they just went down into the cellar instead of running for their fucking lives and read this one passage.
He's just the weird guy, isn't he? The weird guy's like, no, I'm not into this. Marty.
Well, what's good about Marty is that Marty kind of like comments on all of the generic shit, because like the cellar door blows open from the inside and fucking Thor is like, it must have been the wind. And Marty's just like, that doesn't make any sense. And because he's just like off his tits, he's able to see through all the fucking
That's
like
it. He's
weird
got to that
bollocks.
like superior level of high where you become Joe Rogan.
Just got DMT in that mug.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, his fucking coffee cup
I
bomb.
try to fucking buy one, man. You just can't get him.
They invented it for the film as like a prop, and then he starts twatting like the zombie redneck family with
yeah.
it as well. Towards like the end of the film, it just becomes all out chaos. The purpose of this facility, which we kind of like learn, is there's locations of all these facilities on the planet. They perform all these rituals of sacrifice to ancient fucking monsters that live beneath the earth, and if the ritual doesn't go correctly, then and they're going to spring up out the ground and cause the end of the world.
It's like 113,000 ghosts, isn't it? I love the way that like there's a board and they're betting on what it's going to be.
Oh yeah, it's mad. That is so funny.
Yeah, it's great.
They got like normal things like alien beast, werewolves, giant snake, but then there's some just amazing one like dismemberment goblins, unicorns. The sugar plum fairies on there. They've got one called an angry molesting tree.
Oh yeah, Evil Dead reference.
My favourite one on there though is it just says Kevin. It's just Kevin.
For your reference to fucking we need to talk about Kevin, which is really fucking cool actually. So that's mint. There's just so many in-jokes and references. And there's one of the guys who works in the facility who's really into a merman, and he's like, I hope it's the merman.
I love that one. And then he gets killed by it later.
By the merman.
It's so good. So good.
But then when they set all the monsters out in the facility, it's like the Virgin Girl and Marty kind of like survive. And it's sort of said that the Virgin Girl can like be the last one alive and the ritual's fine as long as everyone else is being killed. And they're all having a party because they think Marty's dead, but he's not. So the ritual's fucked now. Nowhere's performed a successful ritual. So they like unleash all the monsters out into the facility.
There's a fucking cloud, isn't there? The Kraken turns up.
It's fucking amazing.
It is good.
My favourite one's the unicorn.
Yeah.
Like there's all this absolute carnage going on, and then it just cuts to one guy in a hallway, and there's just like this horse, and then it just turns around with its unicorn horn and just stabs him in the chest and just walks back off. That's it. Just fucking nanks him and just walks away.
Nanks him.
So good.
30 million budget, quite high actually for a film of this caliber, but 66.5 it got at the box office. Not bad, not bad.
What percentage return is that, Connor?
That is 100 and a bit.
I like how you tried to figure it out. Still?
Oh, amazing. Overall then, anyway, this film was fucking sick.
Unbelievable film, innit? Like, there's not much wrong with it apart from enjoyment at the beginning.
Because it does take a while to like get into it, but once it does, it just goes so ridiculous that it's fucking masterful.
I agree.
And that was our fucking review, and we're done.
That's all on it. Like, what more do you want me to say? I agree. I think you made a great
exactly
point.
the same as you. Thank you.
You've made a good point and you presented it well, and there's nothing more I could add.
Thanks, Stu.
If you want to cover my gullet in beer, you can head over to the comments section, and the first comment that's pinned there will be a link to buy us a beer. If you want us to review a film, why not leave a little note when you buy us a beer and let us know what film you'd like us to review. And if it's good enough and not a completely shit suggestion, we might actually read it.
Well, it's true, but thankfully this week, Caden has made a very good suggestion.
Go on,
so thank
Caden,
you,
lad.
mate.
Well done.
mate.
Let's give him... Come on. Let's give him a
There we
round.
go.
Well done,
Get one of them.
Caden.
Wow.
Cool gang. VIP. You made it.
Please do join us next week for another honest review, and you can check out more content on the channel, of which we have a lot.
I would like you to watch something if you can, please.